It's a good bet that at some point during any visit here you'll notice that handsome devil, Will, the WordPress helper. Will was the mascot of the WordPress helpers, formerly one of the sites in the PCVIP family. Our websites get about 1,000 visitors most days, which is either a very big deal, which puts us in the top 1% of all websites in terms of raw traffic, or not at all, because literally hundreds of thousands of sites get more. Well, during the time we ran the WordPress helpers, and get ready, by the way, for the CMS helpers, we sometimes had large spikes in our traffic, usually when news about our dealings with the WordPress mothership hit the news. Well, when that happened, we were really glad, really glad that we had our hosting under control. Generally, that 1,000 daily visitors doesn't justify the amount of firepower we throw at content management hosting, but see a spike just once, and you might reconsider the value equation behind inexpensive hosting from companies like GoDaddy. So recently, a conversation on this topic popped up, well, here, and as Mr. McFarlane, who's one of the smartest WordPress guys we know, pointed out, there is no such thing as perfect WordPress hosting. There's also no such thing as perfect content management hosting for any other CMS, and that's where this gets tricky. The idea of content management hosting is a good one, but ultimately one that shouldn't mean much of anything in practical terms, as you'll see in the back and forth between Tom and myself in the comments on his article. Until you get to a very high level of traffic, there's no need to get that granular while analyzing content management hosting versus any other type of hosting. And yes, that means that if you're running a business using $5 a month shared hosting, you're always just an eyelash away from your website grinding to a halt. But that's easily remedied because you can get dedicated hosting that requires no more management effort than shared does for under $100 a month. And there are any number of jumping off points in between $5 and $100 hosting. Contact us if you need some help with that. Managing the minutiae behind issues like this is what the Answer Guide does. And while we know you don't want to be told to increase your web hosting expense by 2,000%, we also know that running the entire back end of your business for $5 a month is not really a sustainable business strategy. So the point comes back to the word minutiae. To keep your business running, someone has to keep track of a lot of stuff. While that someone often is us, and that's how we make a living here, what's more important is you understanding what you need to understand. Content management hosting, well, that shouldn't be it. At least not the way that tweaking the subject as we were doing at Tom McFarlane's blog suggests. I was speaking with a client this morning who's in the design business. In fact, he made Will the WordPress helper for us, and he was asking what to do when a client who he's built something for keeps asking him to tweak one of his designs. My answer was simple. If you're getting paid, it doesn't matter. But this is a guy who's suffering through the creative apocalypse we mentioned on our last post. Design, at least in the sense of what he's done for a couple of decades, is dead. And what does that mean? Pretty much every website being created today looks pretty much like every other website being created today. And your website is your business, or at least it's the primary way you explain yourself to the world before real sales start. Content management hosting? Nah, it's not meaningful. WordPress hosting? Also unimportant if the server your WordPress site is on is managed the right way. And that's dull. And it's also the point. Farm out your back office minutiae so you can focus all your attention on actually growing your business. Now get back to work. You've got stuff to do. I'm the Answer Guy, and I'll be back.